Hi there, my name is Mabu Manaileng. I studied my undergrad at University of Limpopo and I did a computer science undergrad. Then I did an honors degree and I focused on artificial intelligence. When I finished my honors, I felt like I didn't know enough. So I registered a master's degree and I did a full research in AI. So I'm currently a lead AI engineer in the PBB space, which is the personal and private banking, focusing on customer personalization. So what we basically build is models that tell us which product should we sell to which customer. AI engineer is the intersection between a computer science background and the math, the stats, and the stuff that makes a data scientist a data scientist. My team right now is the only AI engineering team in the bank. So it hasn't cascaded to other business units, because you can think about a data scientist who has to analyze data but doesn't know how to write like an API. And somebody who writes APIs but doesn't necessarily know the statistics to analyze data. But we want you to do both. The technology to enable us to do call analytics at scale, that's what we call it. So call analytics basically says, why are the customers calling? And if they're calling because they cannot do something on the mobile app, then we need to do something about that. If they are calling because they can't link a card, then it means there's something broken somewhere. Customer experience is improved by you identifying systematic causes of the poor experience to begin with, and not necessarily just calling the customer and saying nice things. You need to get rid of the problem. I deployed a cloud native architecture as well that allowed us, from an engineering perspective, to take the calls that are incoming, all inbound calls that customers are making to us, do what we call thematic understanding of the calls, identify pockets of why are they calling, and then we found a bunch of stuff, and then come up with a digital strategy to fix those problems. We have gotten out of the research phase of AI into the engineering phase of AI. I think people should not panic too much about what academic background they have, as long as they can find a nice program that they can do on the internet. But if you are going to university, what should you do to be an AI engineer? Focus on computer science, focus on mathematics, focus on statistics. If you want to be an AI engineer, write code. At some point myself, I was not comfortable with my coding standards. And what I did was to contribute to an open source library. So the one is a famous one called Scikit-learn. By just trying to do that, I improved a lot. We like to say that data scientists are poor programmers because they write code that works. They don't write code that is production grade. Even if you are a mathematician, you can't take an equation to production without a line of code. Diversify your languages, learn how to code. A language is a tool. Then use other languages. But if you know how to code at the core, it's like changing a camera and using a new one. You know how to take photos, so you're just using a new camera. So the language is just that. One of my roles as a lead AI engineer is that I help business units bring new talent into the bank. It's very difficult to hire someone. So what happens is that people watch YouTube videos, people watch online courses, and then they go on LinkedIn and then change their title and they say data scientist. What you really have to do is implement what that video said. Because if I ask you about what was the most painful debugging experience that you ever had, you will never have a debugging experience by watching a video. The only way to have it is by having built something and then gotten into errors and then tried to fix them and Google. So there is a huge gap in the market right now of really competent full stack people. Banks and other companies are no longer hiring specialists, so they won't hire you to do data science. We want your data science models to go to production at the end of the day. So we are leaning towards this engineering role, but we don't have a pool where we can get people from. What do I do to relax? I struggle to relax in general, but what I try to calm myself down with is non-fiction books. I love non-fiction, also biographies and history books and stuff. I also like traveling. I love certain parts of Limpopo. They have nice forests where you can go and you don't have a signal, but you have this nice place you can hide yourself and sort of recuperate. And a movie here and there,